Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Emamkela Mafo and my friends call me Siama. This is my very first video that I'm uploading to YouTube. So this is going to be awkward. It already is because I'm looking at myself as I share this video. But anyways, so today I'm going to be talking about how I failed my first IT or my first professional or my first interview for a professional position as a software developer. So um, that time I was doing my third year. That was my final year because I did a diploma university. So I was sort of stressed, like being a student, you apply and apply and apply and apply, and finally, after not getting responses for a very long while from various companies, I finally get an email, right, that I have been selected as one of the candidates for a software developer uh, 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 at this company. I can't name it. It's in Cape Town, or it was in Cape Town. So they call me in, uh, give me a date. That's okay, cool. You're gonna come on this day. We're going to come to your varsity, your university. So what they usually did at the time, because they used to recruit students during the June season or June month. So they would go to Nelson Mandela University and they would go to Rhodes University. I've forgotten the other one. I think Nelson Mandela University and Rhodes were the ones they were targeting here in the Eastern Cape. So they came to my varsity. Exciting. So when you finally get that opportunity, you like, I need to be ready. So I went to Google. How do you prepare for an interview? I looked at the stuff, how to wear, how to behave. So I thought I was, yeah, I was prepared, and I did look prepared. I did look prepared. The stuff I was wearing, I hated. I was wearing, like, during the lectures. I was wearing uh, proper stuff, man. I looked formal. I looked formal. I was wearing a tie, shirt, and a good jacket. So I thought. So my time came. I think it was around 3:30 in the afternoon. There were candidates before me, and there were candidates that were going to come after me. Oh boy. I walked in with a smile because that's what I saw on YouTube. That I need to smile and maintain a good eye contact. The guy was super nice. Like I was comfortable in that interview. We had a nice conversation. There were sweets on the table, and he asked me if I would like to have coffee or tea. I was like, nah, I'm fine. I didn't want any of those things because when I googled, they said try not to take anything. Just have some water. Just just to, if let's say you want to think about an answer, just take a sip while you think of what you're going to say. Cool. And the interview began. He asked me a lot of questions, and I answered. So let's talk about why or how I failed the interview. Remember at that time, I wasn't I wasn't even sure if I wanted to be a software developer. Yeah, I was undecided as to whether I'm going to be a software developer when I leave varsity, but I knew that I wanted a job, right? And so he asked me like general questions, telling me about yourself and all those weak questions. I answered those quite well. Then he started moving to the technical side of the interview. So he asked me coding stuff, some stuff I really didn't know anything about. And I knew that I didn't know anything about the stuff he was asking me. But instead of saying I do not know, I was not honest. I kept on lying and I kept on guessing. So he would ask me a question and I would sort of flinch my eyes. And those were hectic. And I could see in his face, like he was my, I could see it in his eyes that he could see that I'm lying, but he's maintaining a smile, funny enough. Um, like he was trying to make me feel comfortable. Um, that's the number one thing. That's the first thing that made me fail the interview, is that I kept on lying and lying. And the further he asked me the questions he was asking me, the deeper was my grave, you know? And he kept on doing follow-up questions on something that I do not know anything about. And I kept on lying. I'm sure he thought I was stupid. Of course I was stupid. I felt stupid. So that was the first thing. The second thing I did in that interview, I had brought my cell phone with me. That's not a problem. The problem is that I recorded the interview. He saw me hitting record. Like, oh, I did try to hide it from him, but I'm sure he did see me record the interview. I say this because when we were done with the interview, I pulled out my I pulled out my phone to stop the recording. The reason why I did that, I just wanted to listen to myself, man, like in an engagement or in an interview. So I just wanted to listen to the interview later on, because after I pulled out my phone from my pocket, I stopped the recording. I made an eye contact with him, and it felt awkward. It felt like he saw me when I was stopping the recording. So, um, those are two things that made me fail the interview. But the interview was very, very nice. So we even had a nice conversation after we were done with the interview. Just a nice conversation, and it didn't feel any awkward. It felt like a very, very well, to me, it didn't feel like an interview more than a conversation. So I was very, very hopeful that I was going to get the job. I didn't get the job. At least I did get an email saying that I will not be getting that job. Um, he he did tell me, Okanye, someone sent me, Okanye means or perhaps. Uh, so someone sent me an email telling me the stuff I could sort of improve on, because at that time I was technically not ready for a software development job. So basically, there are two things that you shouldn't, well, amongst other things, but from the story I've just told, there are two things you shouldn't do in an interview. Do not lie by any means. Of course, you're trying to sell yourself, and of course, you're desperate for a job, but do not lie in the process, because it's going to catch up with you somehow. Somehow it does happen. So just try to avoid it. Number two, when you get to an interview, please switch off your phone. You don't have to record yourself. If you're going to get the job, you're going to get it. You don't have to listen to yourself mess up. And if you do fail, you could send an email, a follow-up email, just to ask where you could sort of improve, so that when you apply for a job somewhere else, at least you have some stuff covered, or you are prepared for those technical questions. So yeah, that's how I failed my first interview. Oh man, that interview was a mess. Um, he made me feel comfortable, but I knew, like, yo, the more I answered the questions, the more I felt like, um, F, please swallow me. That's literally how I felt, but I kept a smile because he was smiling at me, and it was quite a comfortable process. So that's how I failed my first interview, and I think I've given you the don'ts. Um, don't bring, well, if possible, don't bring your phone at all. Just give it to someone. But it's not easy to do that, right? Um, but if you walk into that interview room, switch off your phone or put it on flight mode if you don't want to if you don't want to switch it off. Number two, be as honest as possible. Do not lie. If you don't know something, be honest that you don't know what they're asking, but you will look into it. So in the next videos, I will talk about how I have been managing to pass my interviews. But today, I just wanted to talk to you about how I failed my very, very first and awkward interview. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like and share. Have a good one.